Right, for this part of the Hubble Lab, you will be measuring the diameters of galaxies, and then we're going to use that to calculate the distance that the galaxy is from our location. So if you have not read the introduction to the lab, you should stop the video and do that before you proceed with this part of the activity. All right, so in this part of the activity, you're going to be measuring the apparent diameter of each of the 3 galaxies in 5 clusters of galaxies. So you're measuring the apparent diameter. So what has been done is pictures have been taken of these galaxies. So some are bigger because they're closer to it, some are smaller because they're farther away from us. They appear that size to us. And you'll be measuring the diameters of these in millimeters. And we're going to do that virtually. And you're going to use, the images are on the next slide of this presentation. And I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate the measurement of some of these galaxies and then explain where you will put your data. All right, so the images are on the next slide. And you're going to be measuring the diameters of each of these galaxies. And notice there's 5 groups. There's this group, the second group, the third group, the fourth group, and the 5th group. And each of these groups are named according to the constellations that they are located in. So this is the constellation Corona Borealis, for instance. This is Ursa Major, and so forth. When you measure the diameters of the galaxies, you want to measure their longest diameter. So this particular galaxy, you want to measure the diameter this way, not this way, because this is the bigger diameter. Now you're going to be measuring them with this ruler. So the ruler you can move around, and this ruler at the bottom is used to help you size it. If you happen to change the size of your ruler, you want to drag your ruler down there to the bottom and check its size. Make sure it's the same size. Don't resize it. So to demonstrate this procedure, I'm going to use this section right here. I'm going to do these because they're not the biggest, so they're not going to be the easiest to do. I'll leave that to you. And they're not the smallest. The smallest ones will be hard for me to demonstrate. So I'm going to choose these. And when you measure the diameters of these, notice that the individual galaxies are not numbered. So I'm going to suggest to you that you pick a method and you stick to that method so that you can go back to your data table and you'll know which one's which. So the method I'm going to choose is, I'm going to measure this one first. So the one in the group, the one that's the upper left will be my first one, and then I'm going to move clockwise around the group. So this one will be 1, this one will be 2, and this one will be 3. 1, 2, 3 is the order I'm going to measure them in. All right, so I'm going to take my ruler and I need to align it according to the greatest diameter. The diameter is running up and down like that. So I'm going to have to rotate it a little bit and move my ruler over. I'm having a little bit of trouble seeing that, so I'm going to make the image bigger. So actually Control minus is what's going to make that bigger for you. I know it's kind of weird, but that's what it is. And I'm going to go as big as I can. And then I'm going to resize, move my ruler around so that I can see that it's lined up. And then I'm going to measure it in millimeters, right? So there's 10 millimeters in a centimeter, and I've got 1.5 centimeters here. So that's 15 millimeters for that galaxy. So my data table is on the next page. So 15 millimeters, and I might have to actually make this smaller again. So to do that, it's plus, I know that's a little weird. So there's my data table. Now I'm going to look for that galaxy cluster, and it's in this constellation. Oops. And my first one has a diameter of 15 millimeters. All right, my second one is this one right here. And I need to rotate my ruler like so, line it up, and I want it to be bigger, so I'm going to make the image bigger so I can use my ruler. Now, you're going to have to determine where the edge is. Some of the galaxies, like the spiral arms are very faint. You have to choose where the edges are. The astronomers that did this originally, they had to make those same decisions. So I'm not going to tell you how to analyze the galaxy. You need to do that yourself. All right, so this one's 22. Control plus, make that. All right, and that's 22. And then I've got one more neck group. And I need to rotate my ruler again. And make it bigger again with the minus. And measure that 10, 23. 10, 23. And I'm going to record that. And that's my data for one galaxy cluster. All right, so now it's up to you to do the rest of the galaxies in the other 4 galaxy clusters.